Avatar the Last Airbender is, in my opinion, the closest thing to a perfect TV show. On the surface, it's another one of those chosen one stories, but really, it's so much more than that. Although it's a children's show, it tackles adult themes like war, genocide, corruption, disability, and mental health. The storytelling, world building, and character development are all done expertly to mold a masterpiece. The live action is meant to go deeper and flesh out the world even more, and that's why I'm excited for the only attempt at a live action so far. On a side note, F this guy, he has no connections to Avatar the Last Airbender. There is no Avatar the Last Airbender live action movie in Ba Sing Se. If you haven't watched the animated show yet, don't worry, you'll get that joke after watching season 2. The plot is your run of the mill chosen one trope. The magic system is based on elemental magic, fire, air, water, and earth. The ability to use magic is called bending, and the people that can use magic are called benders. But not everyone has the ability to bend. The movements necessary to bend are based on martial arts styles from Asia. The Avatar, in this case Aang, is tasked by destiny to master all four elements and bring peace and balance to the world, not just between the four nations, but between mankind and the spirit world. Upon an avatar's death, the avatar's spirit reincarnates into the next nation following the avatar cycle. The avatar cycle is fire, air, water, and earth, following the order in which the first avatar, Avatar 1, mastered the elements. Aang was born to the Air Nation after Avatar Roku's death. They're known to be a peaceful, fun-loving, nomadic nation who are extremely spiritual. But Aang is meant to end a war that's been going on for 100 years. Oh, and he's 12 and he doesn't have a lifetime to master all four elements like the avatars before him. The world of Avatar the Last Airbender is very rich and colorful, filled with different cultures, unique beasts, and spirits. The four major cultures are the four nations, but they each have their own subcultures as well. There are actually five sovereign nations, the fifth being a nation of pirates, but that's not really explored in the original animated show, and for that reason, I won't be going into details about it. To keep it as spoiler free as possible, I'll give a quick overview of the other four nations. The Fire Nation is an absolute monarchy. Their homeland are a bunch of islands called the Fire Islands. They are loosely based on East, South, and Southeast Asian cultures. In terms of total land, they are only second to the Earth Kingdom, but their economy is second to none. Their bending is based on Bagua Zhan martial arts. The air nomads, as I've mentioned earlier, are fun-loving, spiritual, and peaceful. They have four air temples built on top of mountain ranges located on each corner of the earth. They are loosely based on Buddhist monks. Unlike the other nations, everyone born to the air nomads are all benders because they are extremely spiritual. Their bending is based on Tai Chi martial arts. The water tribe make their home on the north and south poles. They are loosely based on indigenous Arctic cultures like the Inuit. Because they live in such harsh conditions, they strive to live in harmony with nature. Their form of government, I think, would be best described as chiefdom. Their bending is also based on Tai Chi. And lastly, the Earth Kingdom. They span most of the continent and are a monarchy. They are loosely based on Imperial China. In terms of size, they are by far the largest in both landmass and population. Their bending is based on Hung Ga martial arts. Spirits are a big part of this world. Spirits mostly reside in the spirit world. The spirit world is a parallel plane that coexists next to the physical world. It's filled with supernatural spirits that embodies different aspects of life and nature. While the worlds remain separate, it is possible to travel in between. It is extremely difficult for anyone but the Avatar to enter the spirit world. Similarly, only a few spirits can enter the physical world and take physical shape. The Avatar is meant to be the bridge between the worlds, but even then, only his spirit is able to enter the spirit world. His physical body remains in the physical world, and while his spirit is away, his body is extremely vulnerable. The character development is what brings it all together. We see the main group struggle with the obstacles the world throws at them over and over again, which leads them to question who they really are on the inside. We see them overcome their shortcomings. We see them embrace who they really are and choose their own path regardless of what the world may think. Through character development, the showrunners impart valuable lessons. For example, Aang teaches us empathy, hope, and dedication. Sokka teaches us the importance of creativity, versatility, and to never give up no matter the odds. He's my favorite, by the way. I connected the most with him. And Katara teaches us passion and trust. These three are just the beginning of the group. The gang grows bigger as they go along, and each new member teaches us a different lesson. There are some controversies with the live action. The biggest one for me is that they decided to tone down Sokka's sexism because it's a different time now. That's not something I agree with. I think it's better to show why sexism is wrong. Sokka is a very likable guy. He's smart and funny, and I think it would have been better to show how a fan favorite matured. If you've seen the animated series, then you know that it was Sokka's sexism that started the journey to begin with, and they tackle it right away, like on the 4th episode. The other big changes are because the showrunners decided to make the show more adult. They made it darker than the animated series. There's more violence, it's scarier, and there's some suggestive themes. I can think of one instance where suggestive themes make sense, but honestly, I can live without it. Now, I don't think they need to cut out the scene I have in my head. I liked the scene. I thought it was hilarious. I just don't think they need to overdo it. The other changes, in my opinion, sound good on paper. My biggest concern is with only 8 episodes, will there be enough time to cover everything I loved about the animated series and add new things? It wasn't enough for Percy Jackson on Disney Plus. They also had 8 episodes, and it felt like a lot of the magic of the books was missing. More airtime would have fixed some of that show's problems. I hope it's not the same with Avatar. My other big concern was would they be able to translate the material to a live action? But after watching One Piece, I think it can be done. I'm very optimistic about the show. The trailer looks good. The special effects from the trailer looks good. The pictures they released look good. And I mostly agree with the direction the showrunners decided to take the show in. I am honestly very excited.